Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this session number 491. And today we have this problem. I will continue with this problem that the last transmission I was doing. But well, in general, as a summary of this problem is that you have one array of the positive number, inclusive the zero, and the idea is try to convert all the values in zeros, and we have a query list where the first value means that the index, in this case L, the second means that the pointer L, the second means that the pointer right. Yeah, basically this is the range that you have in this query, and this is the value. And essentially is that you can take this query, for example, 0, 2 means that you can modify the index 0 until reach the index 2, 0, 1, and 2, and you have the option to reduce the number at most, important, at most, in this case, 1, yeah? But you can avoid this operation because you can update or reduce, for example, using 0, means that you don't touch. For example, in this case, this query mentioned that 1 and 1 means that only affect one slope or one number of here. In this case is this, and the query say the query have 3 means that you can reduce this number um, at most 3. Yeah, but in this case it's 0. Don't make sense apply this operation or use this query because don't affect anything. Yeah, but in essential is this: you can modify in this range at most the value that appear here, but you have the option to use, for example, if you have 3, but maybe you have one number like this 2, well, it's enough only reducing 2. Yeah, this is only the maximum value that you can reduce the current number. Now, yesterday I had this idea about this, and right now I still with the same idea, but clarified a little bit more. Uh, okay, let me explain here. One moment, please. You know what? I think that it's better on this here. Raise. Now, again, I had the idea to sort the elements, maybe with a pretty queue, because all the time I need to know um, what is the most efficient query that I can use. What is okay? I have this idea. For example, in this case, we have this number. Yesterday, I was thinking what happened where you have, for example, if you sort the queries by the value. Okay, maybe makes sense, but what happened, for example, if you had like this? And this is the first element. And basically, if you try to apply this over this array, they don't affect anything. Yeah, don't affect anything. And even, for example, if this is 10, you are using this value over this, and well, maybe makes sense in this moment. But what happened if in other queries you have something like this 1 to 5, and you can reduce in 10? The impact of this is much better compared with this. Yeah. Now, what is the rules? So yeah, the rules or the parameters that I am taking for determining which query is the most efficient. In this case, I think that is calculate the impact over the range. It's basically range operations with range. Why? Because in this case, the first thing that I have in my mind is that use two pointers, you know, the classic L pointer and the right pointer. Right. Yeah, have 2 pointers. And the first is that we need to know all the time, we need to know what is the current index, for example. And I think in this case, because what happened when you have, for example, something like this, and have 100,000 of zeros, and only in a half, you have one. Yeah. In this case, for example, if you try to apply any query, for example, one query that started in 0 and n and the final, and have the value of like this doesn't matter the value here, but only affect one, and you are doing this operation on transversal all the time, and I think that this is very expensive because on the final, you can track all the time where start and where end the positive numbers. Yeah, in this case, for example, here star, no, no. Okay, and the moment that I found left to right at this value, I need to stop, and it's the same with this. Yeah, it's move, 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 move. Okay, now we can focus only in this range, right? Uh, in this range, for example. Now, having this information, I can start taking decision. And the way to take this decision, I am thinking that is, sorry, what I need to. The yeah, the measure of the impact if I apply the query over the current range. Yeah, because for example, if we have one query that 0, 1, sorry. Well, this doesn't matter. Uh, now, if I have one query, like my current range is between 2 and 9. Yeah, this is the range A. Yeah, and for the range B, that is the query, or in this case, the range Q, sorry, my cat. For this query, for example, I need, oh, well, let me create one case, 5, and for example, I don't know, this is the range of the query. How can I now calculate the measure of the this query over this? Yeah, because for example, this is very long. In the final is 95 elements, and in this case is 7 elements. The first impression is that the longest range, but it's not true. Yeah, because for example, this only have the impact over the 5, 6, 7, and 9, only 4 elements. Yeah, and for example, if I have another query like this that is starting 5 and end in, for example, like this, oh well. Miro, miro. In this case, the length is less, but the impact is greater that compared with the other. Now, how can I calculate or how can I get the measure of this impact? I think that we can use the what is the formula? Is the range in this case? Here, I need to get the max between L and R of this range. For example, if I replace or I apply the substitution, it's 2 and it's 9, and means that the max is 9. Yeah. Now, the trick here is what happened with the Q. the Q. In this case, with the Q, I need to get the mean, the positive. The mean in this case is, well, following this, is LR, in the substitution is L is 5 and right is this. The mean is 5. Now, here we know that the impact over, if I apply this query over the current range, yeah, in this case, the current range is 4, yeah, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 4. And I get this if is 9 less 5, it's equal 4. I know the impact. Now, here we have a problem. What happened where, for example, I have something like this. Miro. Okay. Like this. Yeah. And I change this. Yeah. In this case, for example, the mean is 0, but this is wrong because I am saying that we have 9 less 0 is 9. The impact is 9. No, because it's only 7. 1, 2, 3, or the max or the possible is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, well, it's plus 1. Okay. Now, in this case, I need to take a decision where the mean it's minor like this. I need to take the mean of the current range. In other case, I take the mean of the query. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's clear, but well, having this formula now, I think that I can, in which way I can have all the time sort the elements using this, because I think that maybe with the periodic queue, I'm not sure, because if with the periodic queue I can have, for example, L and R. Well, in this case, L and R represent this, and try to say, hey, periodic queue, keep these queries with the impact. No, here is not the. I need for every range, for example, in this case, this range, this current range, I need the I need the query with a higher impact, but let me write because I am losing my idea. Okay. Every time I need know which is the best query, means that their impact over my current range. Which is the best query? And I know this with this formula, but Oh, another thing that I don't need forget that the maximum value, I remember 1.5, and I'm sure that is part of the answer. Val in the val is, I think that the val is this, right? 1 and 5. Now, okay, for example, if in this case, in 2 and 9 means that all the elements that start in after the 9 doesn't matter this moment, or I can ignore this moment, means that all the elements that the star are before the right can works. Mm, I'm trying to connect this idea with this idea, but it's hard. If I sort by the L, I don't like the idea. I have one idea, but I don't like. Maybe if I sort by the first, by the L and R. Oh, yeah, I can sort by L and the minimum L and the maximum R. For have first the the longest queries, yeah, in this case. And when, for example, I need to search this, I can start with the queries in the top. For example, if 002, well, is ignored, and I can remove. Now the next that is 013. No, um, no, yeah, 013 is this, and I can calculate the impact over this. And I think that it's not necessary calculate this because it is the longest. No, no, yeah, I need to calculate the impact because in this case, for example, the impact is only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 9 because it's plus 1. Um, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8. Is plus 1. It's 8. But if appear another that is, oh, mm, Oh. So no, yeah, it's by this because if I know the max, I know the maximum means that it doesn't matter if I don't use, for example, in this case, I don't use the 10, 11, 12, and 13, but it doesn't matter because I know the final of this range, in this case, is here. Okay, I think that my first sort that I will try is min L, max R, and max value. Why? Because, for example, if appear two times this, but we have, for example, in the value 10, 1, 4, I need to use the 10 first because it's the same range, but the impact is higher. Yeah. I think that we have 2 points to consider the impact. The first is the how many elements I can modify in this range, and the other is that the amount. Yeah. um, okay. Now, mhm. And it's only take the sort by this and remove it immediately when you are when I use this query is remove it, and where the value is 0 completely is ignore because don't affect anything. And yeah, I think, and where, for example, if I apply this operation like this, um, this are going to have many optimization because, for example, if I know what is the max value that appear in this range, I can know that okay, the max value is for example 13 and my value is 100. Is that all the values are 0 in the moment, and I know I don't need to move. But no, I think that let me follow this idea. If it works, I will try after that. Okay. I think that I can use the same array or the same matrix for sort and only have a pointer that said this is the current top in the list and is enough. Uh, what else? For this, I think that I need to terminate where is the point. I think that I can start 2 pointers and try to check. Okay, in this moment happen appear the first in the left side appear the first positive number different to 0, and here appear but right to left. And where I apply the query in essential is that transversal all this range, yeah, and modify. For example, in this case is 1. Okay, if the value is enough for to transform to 0, is move, and stop the first time that is not enough to reduce to 0, yeah, and only continue with the next. And in this case is track in which moment appear the last positive integer that I can reduce. For example, if the value was 3 and this is 4, okay, I can reduce only until reach the 1 and keep here, yeah, and this is 0, and I can move change this to 0 too, but I know the current range that is only this. Yeah. Okay. Integer L is equal 0. Integer right. Integer right equal length. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure. Is 5. I think that, and I feel that is concerned to the answer, but don't discover. I don't have in my mind why. But well, in this case, I have this. First, I check the. Mhm. Now here, left. In this case, nums position I different to 0. L it's equal I, but important. This is less 1, and this is, yeah, I think that I can use this integer, so integer dot mean value. This doesn't matter, it's only for node that happened something, and this is the same, but I can change by max. I think that is max. Yeah, the first is validate if L it's equal this means that if it's the first time that I am, yeah, if this value is not sorry, if this pointer don't have any update until now, sorry, I don't know how to say this in English, but this basically is a flag. I only can update this value one time, only one time. Yeah? And it's the same with this. What happened this, but in this case it's different because I am starting the final, means that I need one pointer. I don't know, x equal nums length O in this in this for one here fail different to right in L it's different to, no, I think that into this and right and this is that both have the right value. I'm not sure if I can break this or with this. Or another way to be sure is that that this reach the final. Yeah. In this way, I know the pointers. Um, something. Okay. Now I have this. What is the next? The queries. I don't remember how sort matrix Java. I think that is with the sort, but using the compare, the collection sort. sort and comparator, and here, okay. Now here, raise sort B. Here is that the mean 0, max 1, and the max of the value 2. Sorry for it's a little noisy here. 1 minute. Okay. Um. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. In this case, integer mean it's equal. It's compared to, right? Integer compare. Now here the mean is integer compare between A index 0 and B index 0. Max 1, 2, 2, and now I don't know how sort this. If I sort by the first element, this is for the first. I think that this mean different 0, return the mean. If here is vowel is sure I will. Yeah, sure. I need the query. Okay, well, until now, I think that we have sorted by these three conditionals. Okay, got it. Now, next is sort. Now, I need to take the first and apply. Case while L it's minor equal, right? Why? Because on the final, I am moving these indices. In the moment that both that L rebase R means that I need to stop. Sorry, minor equal. L and now is and I need one index pointer for know what is the current current query. Figure query index query index q, yeah, um, iq equal 0. Now here is figure query queries position plus plus because I need to increase and I need to apply for that start in L, meanwhile L it's minor. No. It's this. Have the query for example. Query is the query is 4 to 100. You need to start with this. Because if I, the first is that if you in the position 0, 1, 2, it's equal 0, continue with the next because don't make sense try to apply this operation because it's 0. The impact is completely empty or 0. Now here I need to start, for example, if my range is 0, sorry, 4 to 100, I this. But if, for example, the value is 1, it's 1, I can take this because the higher, I think that is take the higher element. In this case, equal max between L and query in the position 0. Yeah, the start. And while start minor that the minimum between this and this, and the mean between right and this. I think that here it's minor equal because it's inclusive. Plus here that okay now for example, if right now I have the limit between this and for example change this by but 7 and I move this to the final because it's the pointer. Basically the range currently I will affect is between this and in this moment I know that I need to ignore the update of this pointer because I never reach only this. Okay, I need to consider this. I think that I need a flag here. Boolean flag equal the end greater one right. Yeah, because if the end, for example, in this case, the end is until this. The end it's minor than right, means that I don't need to touch this. Where the end greater, I think that I can change. It's minor right. Allow update there. I can update it. But well, in this case, I start with the first. And the first is check if the current number is different to 0. Maybe the first position all the time should have different value to 0, but the next possible that no, like this, for example. Yeah, that is in the half. The first is validate this. Nums, the position start different to 0, then apply this. Here is if you know what, here I can update nums in the position start equal this less q the position 2. Yeah, for example, if this is have 1 and this have is 1 less, do you imagine that this have 3, the result is negative. In here I only ask if this position minor equal 0. Well, I set the 0, and in this moment I need another validation for the right sorry, for the L. I think that case is true, beginning. If this is true and no, only that, because here I'm sure that is 0, is that L plus plus, no, L is equal to start. Yeah, and I can continue in the moment that appear the first number, the left side. In this case, this is only the code for the left side. It's different that 0. No, here. This else, where the number is, for example, 1, 2, or whatever. Here, well, false. I think that I can modify again this L. This is for keep the tracking over the element. For example, here I can modify this, yes, or because the value in this case is, well, do you imagine that the value is 3? Uh, 3 reduces to less 2 and means that it's minor or equal to 0. I set the 0 only for keep the element. Even I don't need to update this. Yeah, because on the final I don't check the array. Not necessarily this, but I need to ask, the flag is true? Okay, you can continue. Now, the next that is 4 less 3 is 1. Means that this is false. I think that is a stop. In this moment, L never, during this process, can be updated again. Yeah. And for the right, it's in essential I think start here. For example, I have another, pointer that represent the air, and basically track the last the last value. No, the last time where I got a result different at 0. For example, this case is 1, use and use, keep here. It's here. Well, yeah, because if the result of this element inner equal to 0, where is negative means that I have residual. Where I have the residual, I need to save this. Oh, and I need one counter. 0 and expected and well, I need to invest more time with this problem, but well, I think that for today is enough. Thanks for following with this transmission, and I hope see you in the next. Bye bye.